I remember being a kid who just flew out of the Philippines over to the unknown lands of Ireland, the land of leprechauns, potatoes, and bad weather. Oh my fucking goodness, am I actually gonna keep that? Is that racist? When I arrived, I had no friends, no money, no bitches, but hey, what do you expect from an 8-year-old kid? Since I was Filipino, my parents would often take me to these Philo parties over in Ireland, and it's how I actually started making a couple of friends. I remember going to my first Filipino party and seeing a group of kids a little older than me playing on their PSP. I approached the group of gamers perched up on the couch and asked them, "Hey there, what game are you guys playing?" "Hey yo, give me your money." "Huh? It's a game called Monster Hunter?" "Yeah, you heard me, little bitch." "Wow,
You scared,
and
aren't
I
you?
can
Yeah,
play
you
with
look
you
scared. You
guys?"
better be scared, you look.
"Why do you
I don't even
sound
know how
like that?
old you are.
Aren't you like 12?" I don't remember the details, but I'm pretty sure that's what ended up happening. And from then on, that's when I discovered Monster Hunter. And it's also how I discovered one of the best franchises in gaming. Objectively, of course, which means that if you disagree with this opinion, your opinion is not correct, invalid, and honestly, you probably just haven't tried the games yet. Anyways, check this shit out. Hi there, I'm Siege, a nobody YouTuber who has a raging hard-on for the Monster Hunter franchise. I've been playing these games since I was fresh out of the womb, and since Monster Hunter Wilds is quickly approaching us, followed by the rage quits, broken controllers, broken keyboards, because of 1% drop rates and bullshit one-shots,
Are you fucking kidding?
I figured I may as well talk a little bit about why I love this series so damn much. This video is an attempt at video essay style content, and I'ma be real, this video 1,000,000% gonna get remade in the future when I'm better at making videos. But the first thing I want to talk about is the monster design. So the main reason you play this game is to hunt monsters because you are a monster hunter. You like that shit? Monsters are literally half of the title of this game. So, of course, they're going to be designed in the coolest possible way. But you know what? Let's just take a look at some of them, alright? The Rathalos, the Rathian, Nargacuga, Tigrex, Blangonga, Goku, Takoyaki, Pickle Boy, and of course, yeah, but unironically though, the penis monster fight actually goes really, really hard. The penis monster fight actually goes really, really hard. But on a real though, let's go over as to why I love the designs of these monsters so damn much. Firstly, the monsters from 1st gen to 4th gen all look unbelievable. The designs of these guys are sick as hell, and it really makes you feel like Batman. Like you're fighting beasts within the wild. Some of them are actually based off real world animals and how they evolved. Kinda like how the flying octopus monster, the Yamatsukami, is a super evolved version of the googly-eyed squid. That's true, by the way. And secondly, this is something that's specific to World onwards. They look like they can be part of an actual ecology. An actual example of this is something like the Geototus from World. It's not based off of real animal. At least, I don't think so, but a better content creator and video essayist would fact check this. Luckily, I'm not that person. But this monster lives in the Wildspire Waste, usually living in wetlands, muddy areas. And because of this living environment, the Gyrototus can actually use the mud as its armor, making its skin harder as one of its attacks. There are so many little details like this and how the monsters are designed to interact with the environment, and this is something that is all over Monster Hunter World. I absolutely adore the look, the feel, and the movements of these monsters. All of them giant bosses that will just look at my fucking script, man. My dumbass put in so many zeros. I don't even know how many zeros that is, bro. That's how much they're gonna murk you. But you're gonna love fighting them anyways. With weapons and armor. Which perfectly transitions into our next section, the weapons and armor. Brother, the weapons and armor in this game are so fucking Cool. When it comes to armor sets, they're pretty simple to understand. Plus decorations, which can give you additional power-ups like earplugs or attack boosts, but I'm not here to talk about those statistics thingies, you know, the armors. I'm here to talk about how cool some of these look. I've always been a huge fan of video game drip, and thankfully, Monster Hunter has some of the cleanest drip in regards of like armor and shit, bro. That it's just so freaking cool, and I just don't know how they pull some of this stuff off. Now, what I really wanted to actually talk about are the weapons in this game. This is the second half of the game, where we hunt the monsters. In the majority of the Monster Hunter games, from what I can remember, I started with Freedom Unite. Every single weapon in this game have just unbelievable feeling to them. They feel punchy, they feel visceral, they feel heavy. They have a real impact to them, and they all create a unique playstyle for each and every single one. I essentially think of the weapons as different classes that you can play as. Let's take the Hunting Horny for example. This weapon is one of the coolest support weapons in any game. You use music to buff yourself and bonk the shit out of monsters. You play a song and then continue to beat the shit out of a monster. That is amazing. And to all you Hunting Horn mains out there, you are literally some of the best people on this planet. You know what? Mwah. That one's for you. Compare this to the Insect Glaive. How this weapon works is that you hop around, bouncing and dodging the monster's attack consistently in the air like an insect. That makes a lot of sense actually. I just thought it was because of this little guy. Now we switch over to the Switch Axe and the Charge Blade, where you play a fighting game with all the damn combos that you gotta remember. Now, you wanna play Dark Souls? In Monster Hunter? Just use the Greatsword for heavy damage. Or you just wanna spam and play a hack and slash? Boom. Dual blades. Want to be an anime character? Use the longsword. Or if you want to play a third-person shooter, use the bow and other ranged weapons. It turns it into a third-person shooter. Bro, I love these games. Every single weapon has a unique feeling to them, and there's literally a playstyle for anyone. The Monster Hunter loop of taking on large monsters and then using their body parts to make armors and weapon sets only to take on even bigger and more dangerous monsters just feels so unbelievably enjoyable. And the thing that's improving is you. The actual improvements being made is you as a player and your relationship with these weapons. You get better with how you fight, and to me that's just so incredible. I absolutely love these games and the stories that they provide. Not the stories of the games themselves, because a lot of the time they are kind of ass, but the stories that us players make while experiencing the game. God, look at these transitions. Why are they so good? So this section isn't actually going to be scripted. There's just going to be a whole bunch of like little bullet points that I wanted to talk about. The story at the beginning of this video, that it wasn't true, but it was pretty close to how it was in real life. Obviously they didn't say that stuff. It was just me doing it for the memes and stuff, you know. But when I moved to Ireland, I didn't have like any friends at all, and Monster Hunter really allowed me to connect with a lot of people that were here. There wasn't a huge audience for it, but it was people that I saw quite frequently, and I was able to just hang out and bond. It allowed me to essentially bond with them using these games. Since I was 8 years old, I was extremely bad at them, and I would often actually like do the guild quests. Okay, so in Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, they had these things called the guild and the granny quests. Granny quests are so much easier and they're designed for single player, while the guild quest is designed for multiplayer, for 4 people, where they buff the monster's attacks, they buff up their HP, and scale it up so that 4 people should take these on. My dumbass 8-year-old self took on the guild quests and wondered why I couldn't beat a single mission. I remember there was this one story of me and the group of people that I used to play with. I was around like 10 or something, so I was already in Ireland for a little while, and there's a monster called a Tigrex, which is basically like a super like aggressive kind of monster, and the four of us decided to go hunt it, and my ass ended up fainting at the end of the mission where they killed it. And I remember crying because I wasn't able to carve the Tigrex. I was so sad that day. But you get items from the thing anyways, and they were just, oh my goodness. How did I get through this shit, man? Then I moved on to like, the other games too. Monster Hunter World is the next one that I ended up playing and really getting into. I remember just going through that game with a friend of mine and just constantly like we we had a competition. It wasn't a contest, but I kept on trying to like one up the mission that he's on until eventually both of us beat the game. We kept on trying to go further and further from each other, and like, it's like I remember there was this one conversation that I was having with him. I was like, yo, did you kill this guy yet? He was like, how did you get to him so quickly? I was like, it's just a skill issue, bro. And finally, like, this is probably one of my favorites, where with Freedom Unite, I remember that I was so bad at the game that I couldn't really progress too much. I think I got through a couple of the granny quests when I found out that they were, easier, and I actually played through it. But I remember just like being annoyed that I couldn't get I couldn't fight all of the monsters. And since I was bad at the game, my friend's brother actually decided to hack my PSP and like transfer over like a super overpowered save file. And it allowed me to get all of the armor sets and items in Monster Hunter Freedom Unite. And it allowed me to fight the final boss, right? Which is the Ukandos in the guild in the guild quests. And I had this little palico, and I remember watching the palico just, you know, swing its little hammer, and the Ukandos fucking faints. It got one shot. And after I saw that, I remember just like quickly going over to the headquarters in the game and then just unequipping the little palico, because I was like, even at like my young self, I knew that was too overpowered. If you've made it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching, and please, if you have any stories about the games that you wish to say, just share them in the comments. I'd love to hear about them while also farming for engagement. If anyone is, actually watching this. I'm thankful that I got into these games. It's an amazing series that I will continue to cherish, and one that will always mean a lot to me. And I will also be thankful for these monsters who continue to whoop my ass while I get stronger and better. And I'm also thankful for you watching this video. Thank you for watching.